Ladies and gentlemen, fellas, top of the morning to all you out there today. And hey, be kind today. Have a good day. And if you're out there right now and you're somebody who can get me some more motherfucking turtlenecks, get me some more turtlenecks. I don't care if I'm going to Texas where it's 100 degrees every single motherfucking day of the year. I love me some turtlenecks. Schmack you right now with the top 8. Yeah, it's no longer top 10 because there's only 10 days left, actually. So we're going to kill the top 10 videos. We're going to go to the top 8 videos. There's only 10 days left in the regular season. Shit's about to get wonky. And then we're going to hit that motherfucking playoff. So, schmack you right away with the number 8 play today. I hope you're all having a beautiful day. My name's Sal Vetri, and I'm about to hit you with the info. Don't worry, it's not assault, it's friendship. The number 8 play of the day is going to be one Kemba Walker. We already have news that Jaylen Brown is not going to be playing in this game. We have news that Tristan Thompson is questionable for whatever that means to you. But without having any Jaylen Brown out there, that alone makes Kemba Walker one of the better plays today on a pretty big 9-game slate where there is going to be a lot of news. And we can take a look at this right now in the double box and see just how good Kemba Walker becomes when you take Jaylen Brown off the court. Kemba Walker is down here with a nice minute sample of 361 minutes. We can enlarge in this for all of you out there. And what he does during that time is he starts to average 1.18 fantasy points per minute. I mean, that is fantastic. Kemba Walker on the season has been close to a fantasy point per minute, gets this massive jump and a big minute sample. Now, with Kemba Walker doing that, well, how many minutes is he going to play is the big thing. He was stuck around 30 for much of the season, got up to 32 here and there. Well, now he's playing bigger minutes. In games that aren't blowing out, right? In games where they're not losing by 20 to Charlotte like last time out, he's playing 37, 38, 36 minutes, 33, 39, 36. He's playing big minutes now, and there's no Jaylen Brown. I feel pretty comfortable giving 35 to 36 minutes to Kemba Walker today, and he's going to average around 1.18 fantasy points per minute. When you start to project him out for that, you're getting a guy who projects close to 40 fantasy points today at just $7,300. So although Kemba Walker's price point has slowly been rising from the 6K range to the 7K range, it is still underpriced for Jaylen Brown not being out there today. So Kemba Walker for me is my numero ocho play on the day today. Ladies and gentlemen, take a second of your time right now. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. I appreciate you all being here right now. We're going to get into the rest of the 7 plays on the day today. Just a heads up for you, we will be live later today at 5 p.m. East Coast time to break down this slate even more for the news that's coming out. Take your questions, whatever it might be, for an hour, so be sure to join in for that one. And also around noon Eastern time today, we will be going live for a mock draft on Underdog Fantasy. We're going to be drafting for the NFL fantasy football season, the second one of its kind that we'll be doing right now. I'm very excited, very excited for that one. And if you want to join into that one, get into the Discord over on Patreon, and I'll be dropping the link in there. First come, first serve for a 12-man draft. So let's go. We got fantasy football 21 content starting up with them best ball leagues. So let's schmack you right now with the number 7 play in the day today, and that is going to be one Mo Wagner. Now, last time out there, I think I woke up yesterday morning and I saw somebody say in the chat, yo, Mo Wagner played about 100 minutes last night and still didn't get there. Yeah, he played 41 minutes in the last game out there. He scored 10 real-life points and 19.5 fantasy points. I mean, he just didn't shoot well, and he didn't get to the free throw line, which is something that's pretty interesting for Mo Wagner, a guy playing closer to the basket, power forward, and center minutes. He only got to the free throw line twice in that game. He only shot 12 total times in that game, making just 4 of them. He didn't play well at all. He shot 33%. He only secured 5 rebounds, which is an outlier. So a lot of things didn't go his way in that game, but what did go his way was the continued minutes that he was getting, the continued run that he was getting at $4,900. Now the price point is slightly up. He has quickly come up from being a $3,000 player to almost a $5,000 player, but he's still going to be in play for me in this game. Now, they don't have the greatest team implied total, but I expect a nice pace matchup here, and the matchup is also going to be good. He's going up against Robert Williams, who is not any defensive stalwart. Tristan Thompson might be out in this one. They already don't have Jaylen Brown, so this is an interesting spot for Mo Wagner in terms of the minutes should still be there. The Mo Wagner minutes, as long as he starts again, should be 30-plus minutes, and this is not going to be a guy who, like last time out, averages 0.5 fantasy points per minute. That's clearly an outlier. On this season alone, he's averaging 0.91 fantasy points per minute, and the more and more that he plays closer to the basket and the more and more that he plays this year, I think that's going to get closer to a fantasy point per minute. So expect Mo Wagner's production to be closer to his game against Memphis, where he played 34 minutes and scored 36 fantasy points. That makes a little bit more sense than him averaging a half a fantasy point per minute. Mo Wagner for me is the number 7 play on the day today, as I like the matchup, as I like the overall opportunity, as long as he continues to start. Now we can get into the number 6 play on the day, and as we do, we'll hop up into the double box. How y'all doing? How y'all like the nice little setup we got here with this camera? It's very nice. I feel very sophisticated, if you will. So number 6 play in the day, RJ Hampton, the man that got traded during the trade deadline. If we look at what he's been doing during the trade deadline or since then, with certain players off the court, he starts to look really good. good. You take Terrence Ross off the court, Chuma Okeke, Michael Carter-Williams, guys who aren't going to be playing today. It only gets better if the questionable James Ennis was to miss as well. But if we look at this on Add More Funds, he actually has the highest minute sample of 207 minutes. And that's only been increasing. Now, if we look at what his production has been, he's averaging right here as I highlight this 0.92 fantasy points per minute, which is very good. I mean, this is a guy who you were hoping could average 0.8 fantasy points per minute. So now he's averaging 0.9 fantasy points per minute in these samples, and you're getting him to see a nice minutes sample as of late. He's a shooting guard eligible player who's just $4,500, and in his last 2 games, he's starting to get the minutes. 30 minutes and 35 minutes in what were close games. He played 30 minutes in a 1-point victory, and then he played 35 minutes in a 7-point victory against Denver, and he's just absolutely producing. So I think the minutes are going to stay, and I think the minutes are going to stay pretty sturdy, at least for this next game. He just contributes in a lot of different areas, and it's not even like he's overshooting or shooting absolutely fantastic lately. He's just shooting 50 and 45%, which is very much so average. He's just picking up rebounds and assists lately, which is really getting him there in these different categories and been propelling him to score over 41 fantasy points in back-to-back games today. So the number 7 player, or the number 6 play in the day for me today is going to be that rookie RJ Hampton, who is right now shooting guard eligible, and you love to see that at just $4,500 as we now get inside the top five plays on the day today. And before we get into the number 5 play in the day, who now you're going to get to know some studs. There's so much value on this slate already. It's unlimited amounts of value. We have Sacramento on the slate again, and they just lost another body in Tyrese Haliburton for potentially the rest of the season. So that's going to open up even more value than we already have with no Fox and no Barnes out there. So before we get into the number 5 play in the day, whose name is Damian Lillard. Dame time, baby. Before we get there, I want to let you know about the sponsor of the program, which last night was a money night. Last night I woke up this morning, I woke up with some tags. I woke up just reading through and smiling in my bed. It was a money night last night on Prize Picks. And what does that mean? It means the entire Discord was absolutely raking in. Somebody winning 2 G's, somebody winning $1,000, somebody winning $50, somebody winning $30. And hey, wins are wins, all the way up to 200, all these different price ranges. Many people were winning in Prize Picks yesterday. The Colin Sexton one hit early on, the Brunson one hit early on. It was like every single one that we were on. I ended up having 5 total Prize Picks yesterday, 2 in the morning, those hit, and then 5 total in the afternoon. All 5 hit. Everybody was cashing out. It was absolutely fantastic. If you're not in on Prize Picks yet, I really do not know what you're doing. Prize Picks is an over-under site. It is over-under on fantasy points, just props, whatever it might be, for a bunch of different sports. It is very simple. It's simplifying the way that you play DFS. They're a major sponsor of this program here because I really believe in what they're doing, and I do believe there's an edge, especially in the fantasy point department. So if you use the code SAL, it's linked down below in the description. If you're not already signed up and you are a patron and you already have access to the Discord and you already have access to the projections and you're not already signed up, I don't know what you're doing. But either way, if you're not signed up, you're literally losing money until they can get some guy in charge over there who makes better lines, because that guy right now ain't making that many good lines. We're taking these people's money left and right. We ended up smacking them. We're already up on them on the month right now. And we're only, what are we in right now? We're only in the 5th of the month and we're already up pretty nicely on them. So today I early on like Damian Lillard over 44 points, and that's who we're actually about to talk about right after this on the breakdown. And then I like Trae Young over 42 points today. I believe both of these guys are pretty close to this, but I have them about 2 to 3 points over this early on in the day. So I went ahead and I secured my first over on those guys. We have on the screen right now Colin Sexton. Shout out him getting us there yesterday. Has the exact same prop today. It took overtime to get him there, so I'm going to stay away from that one today. But early on today, Trae Young over 42, Dame over 44. If you're not already on Prize Picks, what are you doing? Hey, you guy out there, lady, gentleman, fella. Sign up right now down below. Use that code SAL when you click the link in the description. Sign up. Whatever amount of money you put in, they'll double your money. And it's a limited time only offer, so be sure to take advantage of it. They might be pulling the plug on it like today. They might be saying, hey, yo, this is going to be the last week because you're taking all of the motherfucking money. Honestly, anytime now they can just shoot me a DM or an email. So limited time only. Be sure to get in there. They'll double your money up to $100. You put 20 in, now you got 40. You put 100 in, now you got 200. That code SAL. Take those guys, follow those props. We'll talk more on Prize Picks later on in the day. But oh baby, it's looking pretty fucking good for the community last night. So the number 5 play in the slate right now for me is going to be Damian Lillard. And honestly, I think he's just settling in right now, right? You saw CJ McCollum come back and just take a bunch of shots, and McCollum was looking good for a couple games there. Now McCollum's kind of settled in. And now you have Damian Lillard, who you're going to see a questionable tag on DraftKings. He is probable for today. You're just seeing him do his thing. You're seeing him take 20 shot attempts now. In the last 3 games, he's taken 22, 18, and 19 shot attempts. And when the game does indeed stay close and doesn't get 10 plus points out of hand in the fourth quarter, he's playing 36 to 38 minutes. I have him today for 36 minutes. I have him today for close to 1.3 fantasy points per minute. And when that happens, Damian Lillard for me projects out, for about 47, 48 fantasy points. And I do indeed like it. Damian Lillard has now scored 53 or more fantasy points in 3 straight games. And it is not even on that grade of shooting. Look, 58%, that's good shooting. But 44%, 55%, 40%. He's just getting there because he's contributing in a lot of different ways, mainly the assist department. Now, there's no Norman Powell out there today, which is not going to be that major, but it's taking out Norman Powell and putting a guy off the bench who's is not as good as Norman Powell, into the starting rotation. And the assists are what's coming up lately. 8, 13, and 9 over the last couple of games. If that assist percentage can hold, if he can hold this 25 to 30% assist percentage, Damian Lillard at $9,400 is going to continue to put up these 48 to 55 fantasy point games and continue to be $500 to $1,000 underpriced. On a slate where there's just unloaded and unlimited value, I don't know what the fuck unloaded means, but unlimited value on this slate today, it's so easy to pay up for not one, maybe not even two, but three potential studs today, and Damian Lillard is one of those guys early on who stands out to me. Another potential stud who stands out to me, my number 4 play in the slate today, is Nikola Jokic. Denver today, they still don't have Will Barton. They actually have no PJ Dozier today, which he's not a fantastic player by any means, but there's no Jamal Murray, and Dozier was taking up a little bit of assist percentage. So now you're taking him out of the rotation and putting like an Austin Rivers in, who's not as ball dominant as a guard, which means maybe even more potential assist percentage for Nikola Jokic. That's what we see on the on-off splits on Add More Funds. There's not much to break down in terms of what it comes from who is Nikola Jokic. He's the MVP this season as of right now. And when the games stay close, you can comfortably give him his season average of 35 minutes per game, and you can comfortably give him his usage rates of about almost 40% with no Jamal Murray this season. So I like it. He has a 109 team implied total today. And the bigger thing is the fact that this slate, the game theory of this slate is we already just went through 2 value plays. We have 3 guys left in this top plays, and I can let you know right now that 2 of them are extreme values, and there's a lot of other values who just missed out on the top 8. Like my top 12 is filled with like a couple more guys below $5,000 and $4,000 today. So when that happens, like I was saying with Damian Lillard, so easy to pay up today. You just have so much more money left over. So Nikola Jokic is going to be one of those guys that makes it easy to pay up for. And if you wanted to take it another step forward, Giannis Antetokounmpo is on the slate. I like Giannis. I like him a lot, but he's playing on the second night of a back-to-back after he just played 36-plus minutes yesterday. They might try and pipe him down a little bit with just 10 games left in the regular season. They had those 2 big games against Brooklyn in the last 3 days. He played big minutes, 36-plus in both of those games. Maybe, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Giannis misses today, but maybe they pipe him down to 32. Jokic is not playing on a back-to-back today. Last time that he plays was 2 days ago. So I'll use that little nugget to kind of be the differentiator between Jokic and Giannis for me early on right now today before we see some ownership. But Jokic is 10,700. He's a nice option because a lot of the value today is going to be coming from shooting guard and small forward, mainly from early on today Sacramento. So it makes it easier to pay up at that center position. Nikola Jokic, the number 4 play on the slate for me. The number 3 play on the slate is going to be Terrence Davis at $4,400, who you actually saw yesterday. Like we said, I don't know why Terrence Davis was like 8% owned in a lot of contests yesterday. I said that he was one of the top plays on the slate, especially at shooting guard and small forward. He was on this video, I believe, as if not the number 1 play, the number 2 play yesterday, and he played 30-plus minutes. And he played very well in a close game. He plays 31 minutes. He scores 29 fantasy points at just $400 or $4,000. Now the price point rises, but it's still $4,400. There's still no Haliburton. I assume, and this is expecting with no Barnes today, no Fox. So I like Terrence Davis yet again at $4,400, and he has a lovely team implied total of 116.5. One of the better team implied totals, I believe the second highest team implied total on the slate today, only behind Portland at a 118.5, is Terrence Davis. And Terrence Davis is not even shooting well. Like I've said for a couple guys here, he's just getting shot volume, and he's contributing in a bunch of different areas, and the price point is cheap enough to make it worth it right now. If we can kind of see it's what's happening with a sample right now, again, it is not a big sample, but if we can just look at what happens when you take off these last couple of games, if you take off the Barneses, the Fox, the Haliburton, you can see that you have the second most minutes right now for Terrence Davis. And during that time, he's averaging 0.96 fantasy points per minute. Now it's a 107-minute sample, which is about 3 or 4 games now to this point. So it is something decent to be looking at. So a point per minute producer, maybe a little bit below that for a guy who can slot in there for 28 to 30 minutes. He is going to project out for me for, again, 24 to 25 plus fantasy points, and he's just $4,400. So he's the number 3 play in the slate today. We can get now into the number 2 play on the day today, and the number 2 play is going to be Russell Westbrook. So here's another pay-up option. We have loads of pay-up options today with all the value on the slate. We already talked about Damian Lillard. We already talked about Jokic. We already talked about potential concerns for Giannis on the back-to-back today. Now Russell Westbrook at $11,000. His motor does not give out. Coming off of an 80-plus fantasy point day, you just continue to play Russell Westbrook with a 117.25 team implied total today against Milwaukee. This is probably going to be the most entertaining fantasy game on the slate. Milwaukee and Giannis versus Westbrook and the Wizards. A high point total, a high game environment, one of the best spots on the slate if the game can stay close. I'm just paying up for Russell Westbrook this season every single time. If you've been paying up for Russell Westbrook on most of the slates, going stars and scrubs or balance with one stub, Russell Westbrook has probably been paying off for you way more times than not. He is a $12,000 player that continues to be priced at $11,000 because whatever reason DraftKings doesn't want to go up that extra $1,000. That's going to be a nice benefit for us. He's the number 2 play in the day. There's not much extra to say about Russell Westbrook today. Triple-double upside. I love Russ. $11,000. He's projecting out for me for close to 60 fantasy points with this game environment. So hell yeah, I think he's $1,000 fucking underpriced. And as we get to the number 1 play in the day today, let's cheers right now with the coffee, the Be Kind today. I hope you're having a lovely day today. Be sure to tune in later on for the live stream at 5 p.m. East Coast time for this here slate. And as before we get into the number 1 play in the day, I want to let you all know about Patreon. Sign up for Patreon, link down below. It's that easy. Why are you not on Patreon yet? The Patreon was just absolutely dominating on DraftKings for NBA yesterday. Absolute motherfucking kicking ass on Prize Picks, winning all the Dollarooskies, 4 or 5 figures total yesterday in the Patreon. So sign up, linked down below, and this is what you get. You get a bunch of Discord access. You get a bunch of optimizers, lineup optimizers for industry low prices, projections, ranks, ownerships for a bunch of different sports. So get up in there. It's all linked down below. There'll be kind of just videos and there'll be kind of just walkthroughs on exactly what you get depending on the package you want. Here's the whole goal of it. Reduce your research time, increase your potential chances of winning while being part of a kick-ass community. Why would you not want to be a part of that, guy? It's the best time of the month to sign up right now. Linked down below. Get in on Patreon. The number one play in the day today. Right to now. The number one, numero uno play on the day is going to be DeLon Wright, and it's not even close. DeLon Wright coming off of a 55 fantasy point day. It's not even close. He is the best guard left on this team, and there is a wide margin between his talent level and the next best talent level, and you could put him in the shooting guard spot. Every single one of your lineups today should have DeLon Wright in the shooting guard spot because you're getting potentially the best play right now for me on the slate in one of the weakest positions. He played 37 minutes yesterday, didn't even shoot that many times, just 15. There was definitely a ceiling for him to shoot 20 times in this game, and he ended up going out there and almost getting a triple-double. 2 assists away from a triple-double, puts up 55 fantasy points, getting the double-double for you. And sure, I get it. He picked up 4 blocks and 4 steals in that game. So 16 of his fantasy points came from blocks and steals. But when a guy is playing 37 minutes, he's probably going to fall into 2 to 3 blocks and steals on average. So even if you take away 4 or 5 of those, and you take 10 points off of him, this is still a $5,600 player who yesterday just scored 45 fantasy points. And he had the great matchup against OKC, so I get it, but now he has a good matchup against Indiana, where you have Malcolm Brogdon questionable and Edmund Sumner questionable, and some of their guards already down right now, and a 116.5 team implied total right now being, I believe, right around tied for the second or third highest on the slate. So DeLon Wright, the number one play in the day for me today at just $5,600. There's no other guards. That's as simple as it gets right now for Sacramento. If you can name some other ball handling responsibility guards, I'm not talking about Buddy Hield, some guys who are actually going to be ball dominant on this team that you think is going to take away from him. Terrence Davis really won't. He'll hold the ball sometimes. Buddy Hield really won't, right? Kyle Guy really won't. That's why he played 37 minutes last time out. I think there's even a ceiling for him to play more. DeLon Wright is the numero uno play on the day for us today. So thank you for tuning into this video. I appreciate you all the time. Be sure to support the sponsor of the program today, which is Prize Picks. We already let you know about Prize Picks earlier today. We're taking the over on Damian Lillard right now and the over on Trae Young. 42 Trae Young, 44 Damian Lillard early in the day. Go cash those tickets. Go win them dollar skis. It's all linked down below over on Prize Picks. Sign up for Patreon. I appreciate you all a ton. See you on the live stream later today. You all rock. This motherfucking hoodie and this motherfucking turtleneck, I should say, is making me feel real good right now. Check out the first NFL content video that went out yesterday. See you all in the next one.